Hi, everybody. My name is Amy Cothran. And on Valentine's Day, I was at the city council meeting, and let me tell you about it. We started off with a property that somebody's wanting to they're just wanting to cut it in, not half, but cut it into two pieces. Out on 91 west of town. Still in Blair, but west of the main town. So this is Dale and Jennifer Hansen. And so they're dividing the property into 3.5 acres and 6.52 acres. There's a house on the 6.52 acres. So they had to get that approved, which they did. And then there's another property out on 91, and it was tabled because there was a trailer on it that had to be removed, a mobile home on it that had to be removed. So they removed that mobile home, and then they were able to bring it back to city council to get it approved to be able to split that property up. And so they're splitting that property into three sections. Like I said, it's also out on 91 west of town. So they're splitting it into 3.79 acres, 4.47 acres, 5.73 acres. So that was approved. There's also on this property with the three, they had to change the zoning from ag because it was more than 10 acres, so it could be ag. But since now everything's below 10 acres, they had to change it to RRE, which is rural residential estates. So they changed the zoning application there. Okay, this has been on the ticket for a while, and I think they've already, well, no, I know that they've already had there two other readings and votes for annexing the property that's north of the Ridgeview Drive neighborhood, that subdivision over there, Elk Ridge subdivision's going in just north of that, and so we're annexing, Blair's annexing that area, and there's going to be like 38 units there. More property tax. So it was final reading and it was approved. They discussed a 1 and a 6 year roads plan. Now, I didn't get down everything on the 6 years road plan because it was just so much. And then they also said some of this stuff on the 6 years road plan has been here for 20 years. So I did write down things that were on the 1 year roads plan. And what's on it is the phase 1 of the bypass project. The Hollow Road improvements, which I've talked about this before in another briefing. 10th Street between Flint and Joanne, the drainage there. Park between 15th and 16th, the storm sewers. And 16th Street from Weber to the south end. There's also a drainage issue that they're wanting to work on. So they're adding to the 6 year plan a north bypass, but they did say that don't get excited because it's going to take at least 10 years to even realize that might happen. So it took a long time for the south bypass to have anything done to it. It's going to take a long time for the north bypass also, but they're starting to talk about it. That's good news. Kevin Barnhill from the Blair Meat Market came in to change his liquor license from Class D liquor license to a Class C liquor license, which just means that he can serve alcohol on site. He is not trying to make the Blair Meat Market a bar, but he does want to have events there. So his first one, he says, is going to be next month, around St. Patrick's Day, and he does corned beef, and he's going to do tastings with corned beef, and then he's going to give samples of whiskey. And without this license, he wouldn't be able to do the samples. He could only sell it with the Class D. And Andrew Shank and Holly Haffer both said no. The rest of the committee said yes, and it passed. So start looking for some events that Kevin Barnhill is going to have. He's going to have samplings and tastings, and might be a neat event. See what all he has. A lady came in, Hannah Moss, discussing crossing 75. We have a lot of children, a lot of school children that cross 75 to get to school. And so she was talking about 75, maybe a pedestrian bridge or a tunnel or something needs to be over there to make it safer for the children to cross the street. She said she knows a lot of her issues is probably needs to be taken to the school board and not city council, but it's still a city issue because 75 is dangerous. It really is. And we've had several incidents on that street. So maybe not that far up. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway. So they're taking that into consideration. They did refer her to the school board due to the fact that she did make comments that the crossing guards sometimes are late, and one time her son called on his gizmo watch, and she came and got him and took him to school because the crossing guard was late. But anyway, so that's something that they're considering. There was another issue with an easement that agreement with Blair that Molly Sturek, Brett and Molly Sturek, needed for their lots 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There was some kind of somehow they went over onto the Blair property a little bit, and they needed an easement so they could sell those lots. And that was approved. The Blair Fire Department came up with their new constitution, and they were looking to get that approved by city council. It seems as though there was something in it that the city council wants to discuss with them. So they have tabled that, and they're going to get with the Blair Fire Department and discuss that more with them. This has been discussed before. They're just north of the YMCA. There's a drainage ditch with a bunch of trees that have grown, and those trees have grown, and a lot of their roots have gone into the drainage ditch. And they're going to start working on getting that taken care of. They are going to go get estimates. That's what last night was, and they feel like it's going to be about $117,000, and they're getting 60,000 from somewhere. I didn't catch it. And then the DOT's giving them 20,000, and they have set aside 60,000. So that's more than 117. So they should be able to do that. They're going to remove the vegetation and clear out the drainage so it drains. They're going to be taking bids. They're going to take bids for the water treatment plant lime solid project. It seems as though we have lime that's settling. And so there's a big project they're doing. They're building another big silo looking thing, and to take care of, right there at the water treatment plant, to take care of the lime issue. They feel like this can be somewhere around 2.5 million. but it's a compliance with the EPA issue. So it's not something that we can just forego doing. It's something that has to be done. They're going to solicit bids for the street improvement. So those 1 year street improvement plans, they're going to start soliciting bids for it. There's a floodgate or flood break for let's see, maintenance agreement with flood break for the floodgate at the water and waste treatment plant. It has to have a yearly maintenance, and that has been $16,425. That's a fee that's charged, but that kind of gives us insurance for a whole year. So they come out and they look at it and they repair anything that needs to be repaired, and then they guarantee that it's going to do whatever it's supposed to do for a year. Also, there is they voted on a standalone garage for the police department. And the police department, it's going to be a 30 by 36. It's going to be a 2-bay parking garage. And the police say this is really important because when they stop somebody and they need to impound their car and they need to search their car, they have no place to store it. So this will give them a safe place to store it, and it won't get the evidence, whatever the evidence is, won't get contaminated. And so they're going to go with Harrison Construction for $131,000, looks like, for the 2-bay parking garage. And then that was it. That was our meeting. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.